Wally. We're saying hi to our friends. Moose, you gonna say hi? Nope, we're gonna nap. Okay. Hello, friends. So this is gonna be a different type of video than normal. It is now July, and you guys hopefully saw my cool psychedelic kind of like summer tablescape that I had on my table recently that had like the coolest centerpiece I think I've ever made. And spoilers, it was a glowing LED galaxy, which I'm just still like, I am so pleased with it. But I wouldn't be me if I didn't have so much in my brain that I wanted to make and create and share with you guys. And originally, earlier this summer, I was like, no, I'm not going to do Christmas in July. Like, I know it was a thing last year because everybody was in lockdown. And obviously, like, it's been a thing in the past. But I really like Christmas. And it occurred to me that if you only did Christmas once a year and you only, let's say, have it up for a month, maybe 2 months, maybe if you're getting crazy, you had it up for 3 months. I don't know, like, it's a weird thing. Like, do you do a new theme every year? If you wanted it, like, if you really like Christmas and you want to do something different, or do you keep building on it? And I'm like, I have so many different themes that I would love to do, but I would not live long enough if I did a new one every year, probably. So I thought, well, I do live in Florida. It's hot as heck. We're literally tracking a hurricane coming in our general direction as I record this. So I was like, you know, I have so much stuff. I'm very lucky. I get a lot of stuff on sale at the stores after season or when they're on sale in general. I get plenty of clearance stuff. Not gonna lie, I definitely go through people's trash on Big Trash Day and have been known to help myself do a few things and get a lot of stuff from the thrift store. Plus, I just have projects that I try to buy responsibly, you know, and by that I mean like these greens here, we'll talk about a little bit, but like just by buying stuff only when you need it and then making sure it's something that when possible you could reuse. So I thought, not that we're destroying anything here, but I kind of want to do a Stash Busters use what you got for the most part challenge. And I thought, you know, Christmas in July, like I can make that happen. And I'm not normally one for like a tropical, under the sea, whatever vibe Christmas, because you know, it's a little overrated here in Florida, you know. But I thought, you know, why not? It's 95 degrees out. We could use a little fun and colorful. And I already have a lot of stuff on hand. And then kind of once the ideas got flowing, here we are. So that's my kind of challenge to myself. And I don't know if this video will be something you see in time, but I hope if you were on the fence about doing a Christmas in July, I hope you try to consider challenging yourself to reuse stuff that you already have instead of trying to buy stuff and go through all the stress. Because I think, at least for me, and I think a lot of people, it's not so much about buying the items or whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the right items help you get excited about what you're doing, and the right I don't want to say keepsake, but like the right key elements definitely bring a look together. But a lot of the times it's just fun to decorate and get excited and have a change of scenery, at least for me. So I'm excited and I want to show you guys kind of what I'm using and go from there. But I will say almost everything here is purchased on sale in the past, like past years. So I already had it on hand, clearance, something out of the trash, thrift store, or I reused in another project. So I will say the only thing that I purchased for this project was this tapestry, which I'm kind of obsessed with the Amazon tapestries. If you've seen my last few videos, you've seen a tapestry in all of them. I will link to this one down below because I will say this is probably the nicest quality tapestry I've purchased on Amazon, and I'm kind of surprised by it. I wasn't expecting it, but it's actually really nice. Like the edges are finished and it's a little bit nicer. It's not 100%, you know, like rectangle, but I mean, let's be honest, you're not paying for perfection at these Amazon rates. So that's the only thing that I have purchased and planning on purchased for this project. And that being said, it's such a big statement piece that's going to bring everything together. You know, in my opinion, the cheapness of it is totally worth it, and I can reuse it in the future. So let's just start from the top. So these iridescent jellyfish, I can link to again for you guys. I used them in my last astronaut trippy, kind of like astronaut in the ocean, I suppose, galaxy tablescape. I'm just going to rearrange the placements so they're a little bit more proportional. But I just left them up because I was like, well, this is great. This is going to look cool. My tinsel tree, which I love. It's bright pink. I'm obsessed with it. So then I've just started pulling materials together out of storage, and my very, very kind husband went up in the attic, which if you guys don't know, Florida attics are 1,000,000 degrees, and he bought some stuff down for me. So I'll just kind of go through and talk to you guys what I'm thinking. Generally, the color palette is definitely my style. So more bright, fun, colorful colors. And so you see that in the tapestry, you see that in the tree. But I love the iridescent that just kind of plays off the light that we have. So, we'll just start here. So I found this in the trash the other day, and because, you know, I'm that person and I like to go around and look at stuff, but I also really hate seeing like perfectly good stuff getting tossed in the trash when like I could use it, or somebody at like a Goodwill, or, you know, a church shop, or I don't know, women's resource centers, you know, they can resell that or donate it or something to somebody who needs it or is trying to get on their feet, or just spark joy for somebody who can't buy it for themselves. I don't know. So small PSA, like if you have stuff that's in good usable condition, like just put it in a box. There's so many people and organizations now that you can call and be like, hey, I'm going to leave a box out front. Can you pick it up? And they'll be like, sure, we'll be there Tuesday. So try not to throw stuff out. If other people could use it, try and repurpose it. Okay, now that I'm done with that, I have my adorable tinsel narwhal that I got from Target, I think last year before. I don't know. It's adorable. I love it. And it matches my color palette, and it's under the sea. And then, okay, so I straight up found these in the trash. I did try them. They work. They're really old, but they're beautiful, like warm LED, or they're not LEDs. They're warm lights, but they're stars. And they're kind of like icicle, you could see. I did look at this box, and I think at one point I found out that they were like 10 or 15 years old, but I think they were from, it said like Michael's or something. I don't know, but somebody was throwing them out, and I was like, why? They work. And truthfully, there was a lot of other stuff. I also, in that same trash, picked up these blue icicle lights with a white string, and I literally or you guys can't see it, but there's a box back here full of these, but these are just new, and the previous owner had put the twinkle lights on them, or like the blinking light, which I don't really care for, so I was like, well, they're brand new, but again, somebody was going to throw them out. So the lights, I'm kind of envisioning having them up here and dangling down so we get like a cool water effect. We'll see. I left my LED lights that are battery operated from my Galaxy out because, like, I don't know, like this is a warm light tree, so maybe we'll mix them in there. I don't know. We'll see where the day takes us. I have this, I don't know. It's not really ribbon. It's not really netting. It's iridescent that I had from like 4 Christmases ago. Okay, these plates are a must-use in my design because I've been holding on for them for so long. I got these at a tag sale for like $1 for this. I think it was for the set of 4 of them. Oh wait, you know what? I bet the tag is still on them. Okay, yeah, it said $3, but I'm sure I didn't pay $3 for them because I usually go to like tag sales at the end and I haggle. So I was like, I've been holding on to them for so long. I think I used some of them for a project at one point, but I would really like to work them in. So that's a definite must-have for the tabletop. And then I have all this clearance. So this is sequin trim that I got on clearance from Hobby Lobby. So they were $2 a roll instead of $8 a roll. But I was like, I had purchased these a while ago, like maybe like a couple months ago, with the intent of using them for a different project, and it didn't work out. So I'm thinking of working them into the tree. And then I don't think I'm going to use this, but I also got this ribbon from Hobby Lobby that was originally $7, and it was marked at $1.75. And I like it because it's kind of iridescent, so it kind of goes with that vibe. We'll see. I don't want to go too crazy with the iridescence, but I do like having enough of it mixed in because I think it's pretty. So this is not all of my greenery that I have. This is just stuff that I pulled. A lot of it's from Shop Wild Things. There is some Hobby Lobby in here. For those of you who missed my feathering tins of Bridgerton inspired tablescape, I ended up removing it from the table and putting it over my TV for right now, which I really love, but obviously both sides are decorated. So I started taking some stuff off the top a little bit and off the back. So that's why it looks a little different now than it did in the original recording. But I'm using some of the greenery from that in our new tablescape, which is what you see here. Now I do also have like some random things like this that I used as like a proof of concept a while ago and I didn't end up actually using it. So maybe doing something with this, I don't know. I can make more of these really easy. And I just used these chargers, which I got from Goodwill a while ago, but they do look very oceany, you know? So like, do I need chargers? I don't know, but I won't know till I know. So I like to leave all my stuff out while I'm working, or as much as I can, so I can get a good sense of what I'm doing and what I'm working with, so I don't have to go rummaging for stuff. Speaking of tabletop stuff, I do have this that's like a beach cover-up that was gifted to me a long time ago, and it has fish on it that look green, but they're the same type of fish as those plates. So like maybe using this on the tabletop, I have a vision of doing like a big seaweed, like kind of runner here. I think I have enough greenery, I can do that. Plus, it's not in here because I'm letting it air out, but I just found a whole box of greenery, new with tags, that somebody was throwing out the other day, and I definitely like threw it in the back of the car because it just makes me so mad seeing so great stuff go to waste. So I might be working that in there, but it's airing out right now. I also have this, I'm pretty sure it's like a duvet cover from IKEA, but I got it at Goodwill, but I always use it as a tablecloth. I really like the brightness of it, and considering using it as like a tablecloth with this, but we'll get there. I got pink napkins that I used for my feathering tin stuff, so I have them on hand. I have this beautiful blue silk runner, a Goodwill find from years ago. And this, I haven't used in like 4 years. Google. This is another runner from, probably one of my original tablescapes that I did. I think I bought it at like TJ Maxx or Home Goods years and years and years ago. I loved it. Oh man, such memories. That was definitely done on a fold-up table. Maybe, I don't know. I kind of like bringing in a pop of gold, but I don't know. We'll see. I like having the options. I don't want to rule anything out. And then I have that whole box down there. I just took some of these pieces out. Like these are some of the Merry and Bright picks and ornaments, mostly from Hobby Lobby, but a lot of people have like a Merry and Bright Christmas line usually. That's the more non-traditional colors. And I thought, they're already like let's look at this. They already practically match all of this anyways. They're gonna look amazing in my tree. And they have like these, I bought these probably 2 or 3 years ago at Hobby Lobby. I looked last year to find more of them and I couldn't find them, but they already have, fish scale vibes on them. So I was like, I dig it. So I'm going to rummage through there and think about like what makes sense. I wasn't really going to use these, but then I took them out and I was like, well, they definitely match. So it's going to be pretty great. I don't know whether this is going to go really well or not, but you know what? The important part is having fun decorating, and I hope you guys enjoy watching the process. The most important thing for me was getting this big inspiration piece up so I can constantly use that as a reference. And if you guys haven't considered using tapestries in your looks, whether it's for Christmas or a birthday or bat mitzvah, whatever, you can do a lot with these tapestries, and whether you get it on Amazon or Etsy or just all sorts of places on the internet that sell them, there's one for everything. Like literally, you can find these for every occasion, and I really think they help elevate, because what would have happened if I just had a table and a tree? Like what we're gonna have like a random piece of art that like maybe matches, maybe doesn't, or a mirror that, you know, like I feel like this makes the ambiance complete, you know, so that's why I go for it. And I know it's a little weird if you haven't used the tapestries before, but for me, I think they really work. So I'm gonna keep using them. All right, so the next thing for me is I'm going to start working on, I think, this tree, because then I can have plenty of table space to work, and then I'll just kind of work from the wall out. And so the tree, and then probably deciding on the lights, because I am a renter, so I am burdened with this lamp here, which I might change someday. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I can't change the fixture. I can only change like the bulbs and stuff. So playing with the lights will probably be part of it, because I think the blue icicle lights are going to look really cool, kind of watery vibe. So we'll see. For now, I have my trusty companions to help keep me company. And I'll show you guys the next piece as it's done, or as it's going. Well, this looks pretty awesome. I got the starlights up, which, oh my gosh, they were in the trash. They are perfect. They look like little starfish. Yes, I know the jellyfish are still crazy. We're going to move them. This is my tree topper that I literally got out of the trash 2 days ago. So happy. It's got a cool iridescent finish on it. And it kind of goes with our starfish stuff. Started playing with some of the picks just to see. But, you guys, it occurred to me that there's a lot of wires that look a little bit slapdash. I'm like, well, I bet I have a lot of greenery. So I'm going to try and take my recycled greenery, which I already have pulled some from my feathering tins of Bridgerton. Well, you guys saw it earlier. You know what I'm talking about. But I might pull some more and try and cover up some of the top here and kind of have that like seaweed vibe. So I think that'll be kind of cool and like all inclusive, and it'll finish everything off really nicely. So that's what I'm working on. But I thought I'd just show you guys how cool the stars look on their own. And I bet a lot of you probably have these or something similar from Christmas years past. And here's a fun way to reuse them and make them look like dancing starfish. Yep, that was an amazing idea. I have I'm actually using a plate which you can kind of tell, which kind of like anchors those pieces back there. So maybe I'll try and find something that is even a little bit lower. But I have a few of these plates that are nothing special. They're China from Goodwill, and I mean, these were some of my original thrift store purchases from ages ago, but it's just enough weight to hold some of the greenery down, so that's pretty great. But I love the transition between the greenery that looks like seaweed into the tapestry. It's gonna pick up like all this fun stuff here, so I think I'm gonna keep going with it. Well, that escalated quickly, but I think it's totally worth it. I'm gonna actually have a seat here. Taking in, we're in construction mode. We got our narwhal up. I took down one of the jellyfish for now. We're gonna figure out how they work in. I think it was a little much, but I love the seaweed up here. It's not really what they were purchased for, but that's part of the challenge, right? That's part of the challenge of reusing things, recycling things, whatever you want to call it. Making things work, making it work, having a Tim Gunn moment. So I love how we kind of have like the starfish, but the lines covered. I did end up taking off one of the lights on our chandelier. Like I said, we're renters, so we only have so much we can do, but I feel like the internet must have a solution that we can do to zhuzh it up. So I'm glad I did that part, because now I feel like it's a little bit more complete, it's a little bit more dimensional, which is something I'm always interested in. Plus, we covered up the wiring, so it looks a little bit nicer. So I'm going to work on the tree over here, and I don't really want the tree necessarily to be the focus, because yes, it's Christmas in July, and so therefore you have a tree, but like Christmas isn't just about having the tree, you know? So I want to do something fun and obviously use all of our colors and everything, but I want to be mindful of what we're working with in the sense of like practicality and enjoying it for what it is, Christmas in July. And also, because we used all of the greenery and then some up here. I don't really have enough to do like the full runner like I had before. So I'm toying with the idea of like wrapping some of my cylinders with these. Still kind of playing with things like my glass cylinders and doing like a nice floating candle with them. So we'll play with that a little bit and see how that works out. But I want to do the tree first, and I'll probably opt for not using this sequins trim in the tree, because I think I'm going to end up using that for centerpiece purposes, because I think like the scales of the fish plates that are like a must use, and then the scales of the trim are going to look really good. So like maybe we'll play with like some of this in there. I don't know. I don't want it to get lost, because like, let's be honest, it's a tinsel tree, right? So if you put glitter on top but tinsel, is that too much? I don't know, but we'll find out. So yeah, I've been enjoying this process. I feel like I keep saying things escalated, but I don't think they really have. It just looks super cool. At night, I had to take a break to take care of the puppies and stuff, so I haven't gone very far, but this looks incredible. Like, does that not look like Starfish just dancing along under the sea moment over here? And I started putting my little, well, they're picks, but I started putting them on the top, like the topper, and then, like, I'm just so excited. I pulled that thing out of the trash, that tree topper. It's really cute. It doesn't show up super great on the camera, but it's really pretty. But yeah, the ambient lighting is so nice with these. I'm really glad I got them. And then our little narwhal is up there welcoming you into the home. So this is gonna look super great. I'm gonna keep working on it a little bit. I'll show you guys how it looks. So I've just been playing with some of the lighting, and I remembered I had these cool lights from my fireworks stuff from New Year's, and I was like, okay, well, they kind of could be, you can form them to whatever you want. So I was like, maybe we'll do some jellyfish in them. So I put it on one on here, and it does kind of look like the fish there, but I think between the starfish vibe that we have going, like, I think this is a little meh. It's a little much. And then I put it on the tree, and the camera really doesn't like focusing on it, but we're gonna try. But it gets washed out. I'm gonna come over here so you can kind of see, like, it's got like the cool jellyfishy vibes, and it definitely looks kind of similar to the fish on here. I think it's a lot of light going on, so they're really cool. And if you have any of these firework lights, I mean, these are the same ones that I used in my New Year's look earlier this year, but they do look like cool jellyfish. It's just, I think on a tinsel tree they're too much, and I think on here the star lights, starfish lights, look cooler and provide a little bit more contrast. But just let's see if we can, I'll try and hang another one and step back and show you guys. Like, they're cool, but I think there's just a little too much going on here. So you can kind of see the one that's still swinging. That's the one I just added on, and I just hooked it onto one of the cables up there. But it's cool. I think it's just like you have to do one or the other. You need to have the starfish lights or the jellyfish, but I don't think both of them look great, but we'll see. I might just leave them up there for now just to enjoy them, because they look cool. I think it's just, I don't know, it's kind of a lot, but maybe it's not. It's growing on me, but I'm not convinced. I gotta figure out how to work it in to the table part. So I just finished up making the tinsel tree a little bit more full by adding some of the picks in. So I did a simple topper with the larger ones, and then have some colorful kind of like green and blue picks. A lot of these like glitter berry ones, and I'll come show you guys a close-up. Now all of the glitter ones, like you see there and there, those I have from previous Christmas themes. These matte ones came from a neighbor's trash, so I took those out earlier this year. And then I have these fun kind of foam glitter balls, and I put a bunch of them at the top to kind of look like bubbles and kind of fill in some of the smaller space. But it looks really cute. I keep having trouble with the tree leaning just a little bit, but I just keep pulling it back and it goes back in its spot. But it looks really cool. It kind of looks like seaweed and bubbles and just kind of fun abstract shape like we have in the tapestry here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is the ornaments. I do have extra berries in pink, but it's too similar to the tree, so I'm not going to use them. But I do have these great like fluffy fuzzy balls that were also part of the Hobby Lobby Merry and Bright for the last few years Christmas collection. So I think they kind of look like those like sea anemones, maybe. I think that's what they're called. But I have them in blue, I have them in green, which on the pink is a really great contrasting color. These are definitely must-haves, so I'm going to put as many of these on there as I can because they're rainbow, they look like fish scales, and I think they're a perfect combination for this. And then I just pulled some of the other ornaments that I had. So I have these kind of like iridescent ones that are clear that I think will make the light really nice. Then a little bit smaller, I have some of these in blue. I have some in green and then blue, but also kind of have that fish scale texture. And then going down a size smaller, I pulled a couple of these blue onion shaped ones that have a nice texture to them, and then I thought these are kind of cool for just different color. So that's blue and green in there. Then I also have dark blue onions, so I think these should be more than enough to fill up this tree. And I don't want to put too much on there, but just, you know, enough to spread it in and make it look nice. And I decided that I am definitely going to hold off on putting any of this ribbon on the tree. As cool as I think it would be on there, I think we're going to need it for the centerpieces more, and I think it's going to look cooler on the table anyways, and it won't get lost. So I'm going to put the ornaments on. All right, so we have the Starfish Lights, which are really just stars that we found in the trash. They're up. We got a beautiful tapestry. We got seaweed. We got LED fish, like jellyfish that were actually the firework lights recycled. We got the tapestry. We got our Merry and Bright Christmas tree up with all recycled ornaments from years past, and a tree topper that we took out of the trash. So it's time to do the tablescape. So I hope you guys decorate with me. I did do just a quick mock-up with everything in play here with the beach tapestry, or not tapestry, the beach cover-up that I had on hand, but it's just a little, I don't know, I love the fish because it looks so close to this fish, which looks close to those fishes, but I think it's just a little, I don't know. I don't want to say much because let's be honest, I'm a little much, but it's a little too busy for me. So, but I wanted to show you guys just because I did show you the beach cover up in the supply breakdown, and it's good to just try and like loosely throw things on and be like, nope, I see it, I tried it, it's not gonna work. So we move on. So first things first, I decided to skip the linen altogether, and I'm actually gonna go with these acrylic marbled placemats that I made years ago. I actually used them for a tablescape I used in one of my like pop-up table series before I had this dining room table. And so these are just acrylic placemats, or well, they're acrylic canvas panels that are 12 by 16 that I made in the past. And then I just poured on them, but it matches perfectly. So we have a bunch to choose from. And I just store them, like you can just slide them behind anything, but I just store them wrapped in wax paper so they don't stick to each other. So they're not 100% flat. They did warp a little bit. I don't like this one, so we're going to skip this one. But I like to take all my options out there so I can just see what we have to work with. I'm only setting the table for 4 this time around, so we have this one, Well, that makes it easy. We got 4 right here. So we'll just put this off to the side. All right, so we have our placemats down. We have some water ready to go. We have our cylinders that we're gonna start putting into position here. And they have their gel beads in them. They don't have all of the water that they're gonna have in them just yet. So part of that is because then it's easier to move them around a little bit. Part of that way, if like you want to play and, you know, switch things up, it's a little easier. Let's see, this one here. The only reason I do that is because I use 2 different gel beads that are blue, and some of them are just a little bit darker than the others, but all of the sequins are sticking on and they're really easy to adjust. I will say I learned that if you're picking them up and, like, you know, putting the beads in or the water in another room, like the bathroom, and then carrying them over, be very careful because the fabric will shift a little bit. So what I like to do is pour some of the water in, but not all of it, just so we can see how much the gel beads are rising and if we need to adjust them at all. And for this particular project, because we're doing it under the sea and whatnot, I want there to be kind of like bubbles at the top of these, like you might see underwater. So I'm not completely submerging the gel beads in water, or I'm going to try not to. I want to have like a little bit of beads showing. And so if you haven't worked with gel beads before, if you're going to add water, you don't fill them all as high as you want them with beads, because when you add water they will float up a little bit. So we're just going to pour a little bit in, and they will evaporate, oops, if you leave this over time. But here's a good thing: you can see all of the beads kind of disappear when they're not when they're in the water. So if we wanted to add a little bit more beads, just for the beads on top, we could just add them in and they'll continue to rise and or absorb some water. This is one that I got, and it got a little loose while I was picking it up and moving it in and out of the bathroom, so that's how I know. But it's really easy. You just push and hold where the dots are, and then slightly layer it down. We're good as new. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of a kind of zigzag here shape. I like where all the beads are at. I like the water levels. There's a little more water in the smaller ones. There's a little more beads in the bigger ones. And so I have my candles, my floating candles more specifically, ready to go. And part of the reason I like having the beads still showing at the top is when you put the candles in, they don't sink really far. I have these bigger candles, which I'm going to use, that I'm just mostly reusing because I had them for another project and then I didn't end up burning them all the way. Now, typically I would have liked to have them a little bit lower in the container, in the sense that, like, you know, if you were doing this at a venue, a lot of the times the venues want to have the candles be what's more inside of the cylinder for safety purposes, but I'm not super worried about that in the comfort of my own home, and I don't like having to scrub the soot that shows up on the vase after the fact. So just keep that in mind if you think there's a chance that somebody in attendance might be a little bit more inclined to fuss with these or anything like that. Let me just take this candle out here. So it looks a little off. Maybe it's not. Well, it's probably fine then, I guess. It has a very small little wick, but we'll try it. But I like the bigger candles in there. I think they have a nice more pop. If you have blue or green or orange, I'm sure they would look nice in there too. I do have smaller ones that I could have used. I just think they would have gotten lost and they would look like weird little white dots. So these look more pronounced like candles. So we're done with that portion, which is great. And now we can move on to our little votives, which I'm sort of embarrassed. I'm sort of not to say that I've actually had these votives in my collection for, gosh, a few years now, but I haven't really used them. I picked them up on clearance and they were like $1 something each, like $1.15 each. And I just never worked into any of my my designs, so I just never really used them. Not that there's anything wrong with them; they're great candles, but it just didn't work out. So I'm kind of using these like somewhat part of the V, but somewhat more staggered, so it doesn't look like it's super calculated. But I'm just kind of mixing and matching the blue, the orange, and the purple. And I put little tea lights in. And I didn't have all white tea lights enough for this project, so I had some old IKEA ones that I just threw in, and they look pretty great. So we'll let the water kind of dry off here. We'll clear off the extra supplies. I'll be back in a second so we can do the place settings. Now I have this paper that I just found pictures on in the internet ages ago and printed it out, and I just put it where I store my plates, my chargers, that type of stuff. So I have a reference in case I feel compelled to be a little bit more fancy. So I'm working through like how formal I want to be. I think the table looks pretty cool as it is, and I'll show you guys. I mean, it looks really fun. It's really colorful. I would not consider this a formal look by any means, but I mean, it does look pretty great, right? Like, I think this whole thing is looking real great. So from here, we got to figure out what we want to do with the table. So we have a few pieces that we know are absolute must-haves, and so we'll put those down and then kind of adjust the space where the centerpiece runner with all of the glassware is for now. So the three pieces that I really want to include are my fish plates. Those are number one must include. These new, I guess they could be water glasses or wine glasses that I got in cobalt from Goodwill. And then these amazing finds. I have a bunch of these in green from my grandmother, but I found these big water goblets in the same trash pile as these starlights. And if you guys missed my haul on all the stuff that I've pulled out of my trash in our neighborhood recently, you should check it out. It's pretty great. It's a good haul, and I hope it inspires you. But anyways, I found these in the trash, and I love them, and I just think they're so cool. So we are going to decorate the table with place settings next. So these are fishy plates that I picked up a while ago, and you know, they were one of those things where I saw them and I was like, I love them, need to get them. But at the time, I just didn't have a project, and it was the end of the tag sale, and the people were practically, I mean, I don't say giving things away, but it was very cheap. They're like $1 for all three. I think they were originally $3, and I loved them, and I was like, we're going to do something with them, which is weird, because I'm not normally a fish person, but I can see already that we have too much space in here with our centerpiece kind of runner, if you will. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tighten things up a little bit, because we are going to need to have, actually if we inverse this, then the right side where the glassware goes will be easier for us to fill with the cups and stuff. So we're going to do that, or I guess it only will help one side, but it's going to help, I think. So we'll start there, see what we can do. So we're definitely going to treat these as a wine glass because they are stemmed. And so the wine glass goes inside. Then I'm going to use these fun textured, they're mid-century, I think cubism something cups. I love them. So they go a little bit further outside. So I'm going to go ahead and place this down, and using the placemat, or the makeshift placemat, if you will, as kind of like the corner, so we kind of balance it on there, I think is going to be really great. And then we'll do the same over here and over here and kind of balance them. And we'll keep adjusting them. We just want to get them started for right now. And so that way, if we have this kind of guide of where these the cups and the must-haves are sitting, then we can adjust our centerpiece and our candles as needed. And you know, maybe we don't really end up with a zigzag. Maybe we end up with more straight line. I don't know. I wouldn't be mad about that as long as they're straight. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't think we're quite there yet. But we definitely have some play options here for us. Quite like how this is looking. It's going really well together, I think. We're kind of zigzagging, we're kind of not. It's much more compressed zigzag increment, which I like. I actually like a lot. I was kind of thinking of compressing them all more towards the center though, because I think that could look really cool too. So we're just kind of pulling them in, and that's part of the joy of, oh my gosh, I'm my Bob Ross now. It's kind of the joy of making your own tablescape. You can play with it however you see fit, whatever makes sense for you. And there's not really any mistakes. You just keep adapting and just changing things till you're happy with them. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So things don't make sense, we just kind of shift them up a little bit. Ugh, I have to stop moving them via their sequence. But yeah, I think that's kind of nice too, where they're a little bit tighter together. Kind of dig that. Like, let's be honest, usually with these types of tablescapes, when you have stuff in the middle that's easy to move, once you sit down and you're talking and there's food and stuff, like a lot of times you end up moving them anyways, but it's nice for that impact wow when you first sit down. So I'm really liking how this looks. There's a lot going on the table, but I think it looks cool. There's a lot of blue. So the next question on my mind is, what are we doing for napkins, napkin rings, flatware, you know, silverware, that type of stuff? I'll show you guys what I had pulled. So I had considered my pink napkins because they kind of match my tree. They're a little shinier. They're going to catch the light. There's pink in the tapestry, but I feel like on the table, I don't know. It might be like just a little, is there too much pink? I don't know. Although I guess maybe we could just do like one of these. No, I don't know if I like that. We could. Yeah, I don't want to cover the fish. So the placemats, or the napkins, are probably going to end up on the side, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I do have these fantastic resin napkin rings, which are a Salvation Army find from ages ago, that I think would have been a nice pop of color potentially. So I have them, and I also have these green glass napkin rings, which are a little bit more olive. I don't know if you guys can tell. They're a little bit more olive. They're glass. They also kind of have that cubey vibe to them. But I mean, not that they won't match on here. They're gonna look a little, I don't know. We'll see. So I gotta figure out what we're doing napkin wise, and we'll go from there. I think in this setup, I'll probably just keep my normal silverware to go with it, because this is supposed to be kind of an informal Christmas in July. Like, we're not trying to make this crazy, but I say that and I don't know, things happen. So let me go look through my napkin collection and see if there's some other napkins that will complement this nicely. So I took a minute looked at all the colors, of which, let's be honest, there's a lot of color in this, which is part of the reason I chose it, with all like the merry and bright ornaments and the colorful under the sea tapestry. So I'm looking at my collection. I'm like, okay, I have these pink napkins from the Featherington Spring Floral, and they're okay. Like, I'm not mad about them. They're a fun pop of color. I do have these napkins from ages ago from Bed Bath Beyond, but I don't really like, there is some kind of minty color in the tapestry, but I think on the table, I don't know. I wasn't crazy about it. I'm not against it yet. I'm just not crazy about it. So I was like, okay, let me grab all of my other napkins, and I thought I would show you guys. These are all my like regular everyday napkins, and then I realized that all of these, and I mean literally all of these, have come from Goodwills and thrift stores over the years. So don't underestimate the linens. Like, there's Ralph Lauren ones, there's Pottery Barn ones in here. There's some really nice quality. Yep, here's the Pottery Barn ones. There's some really nice linens you can get from Goodwill, especially if you go to the side of town where like maybe there's more an older community. That's the Goodwill I got these from. I know that's like my go-to Goodwill. Okay, so more importantly, back to troubleshooting our table. So the green, I don't know. I think it's just kind of like the wrong shade of green for this. So I think we're going to count the green out. I have this orange here, which there's definitely some orange going on, but I think if it's just kind of like sitting off to the side, do we want it? I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy with the napkins because I don't want to distract from all of this. And unfortunately, I mostly have yellows and oranges because I was using those. I only have 2 of these blue ones, so I can't use them, which is, So I'm not crazy about the green. I think the yellow is a bit much. I think the orange, while it does go, I don't know, I'm not convinced it's going to look super great, but we'll try it. Okay, so here's the test set of napkins. And as I was laying them out, I was like, it kind of looks cool because if I have the fish facing this way, the fish plate, it kind of looks like the fish is like eating the napkin and the napkin's kind of like a seaweed. So I kind of like that because for a minute there I was like, maybe no napkins. But then I was like, we need napkins. So we have the fish eating the pink with the green, which I like that. And obviously we're going to iron these, so like, don't worry. So we have the pink, which is like a pop of color, which totally brings everything together. And then we have the option of the fish eating the orange with the green napkin ring, which I was like, okay, I like it. It's not like a crazy, I don't know. It's nothing crazy. We have plenty of orange in the fishes. We have some like orangey copper ornaments. So like, I get it. I dig it. I can get into that. And then I didn't feel right putting the orange on orange, like the orange napkin ring on an orange napkin. So I tried it on yellow. And I think this is probably my least favorite combination. Even though there is yellow and whatnot in here, I think it just, I don't know. It doesn't stand out to me much. So I'm going to take that one out of the running. And then I have this green one. And I like the green, except for it's a different color palette and warmness levels than the placemats. And there is some of that green in the sequins, but I think overall, like if we look at the table, not that, it's done. I don't know. I think the green looks all right, but I don't think I don't know. I'm torn because I think it could be okay. But it's just because there's green, we got green. So I think for me, it's either going to come down to this green one or the pink one. And who knows, maybe I'll do both. I don't know. But we'll press them and see. I think the orange is just a little too intense for right now. So I'm gonna skip the orange for now. And after deliberating for probably too long, I've made a decision. Here is the final tablescape. I opted for the green because I found myself looking at the pink napkins more than everything, and they were really drawing my eye in, which is good, but that's not really the focus of what we're doing today. So I opted for the green because it's ultimately a little bit more neutral and blends in, and it's a nice pop of color without being too much. So the final tablescape looks pretty great. All right, the final table is complete. The whole Christmas in July in the dining room is done. It looks so fun. We have nice, bright, summery colors with a Christmassy twist. We have our pink tinsel tree, which has essentially a Merry and Bright collection on it from Hobby Lobby. We have a star tree topper that I took out of somebody's trash. We have a nice seaweed garland at the top that I recycled elements that I already had from my Feathering Tins tablescape for spring. We have a set of string starlights, which look like dancing starfish. Those also came out of a trash pile from someone in our neighborhood. We're reusing our firework lights, and we just reshaped them to look like jellyfish. And more, well, I don't know, probably the biggest piece here is the tapestry, which is the only thing we bought for this whole thing, this whole tablescape, this whole Christmas in July, is this colorful tapestry, which was perfect for the design. Let's take a look at the table in its finished glory. We're reusing some acrylic placemats that we made years ago. I'll make sure you have a tutorial. Goodwill, trash, clearance, gel beads, candle cylinders, all stuff I had on hand. Goodwill Goodwill napkins from ages ago. Salvation Army napkin rings. These cups are from the trash. I mean, like, all of this stuff is upcycled, and I cannot be more obsessed. And I love the story my brain has come up with, how we have this cute little fish. He's floating through the depths of the sea. This is kind of nice texture, kind of corally vibes. And the green napkin is kind of like his seaweed, his dinner. So I think it's cute that the fish is coming to eat dinner while we're going to come sit down and eat dinner. So it's just kind of a cute little narrative. And then I love the way that these fish scale sequins catch the light. They look so cool. And I was a little worried about the shape of the pattern, because if you look at it really close, there's like a kind of a distinct kind of cross shape going, depending on which angle you look at it. But it looks, with the curve of the cylinder, it looks really perfect. And it catches the light. We have votives. We have just beautiful candlelight sparkles, very under the sea. And as the Floridian, I can say, like, I could see this for sure in a number of people's tropical homes for the holidays, even if we were doing this in proper Christmas time in December. But I think in regards to Christmas in July, this is pretty great. I love it. It's unexpected, and this is my first year officially doing Christmas in July, and I could not be more pleased. I think it is so cute, and I'm just so fortunate and lucky to be able to upcycle and recycle a lot of items that I found or have had on hand, and therefore the whole cost of this is really just the cost of the tapestry, which is crazy affordable. So I hope this inspires you guys to do something fun for Christmas in July, and I'm gonna do this every year. I mean, maybe not this theme, but I'm gonna do Christmas in July, I think, every year if I can. This is awesome.